How's everyone doing today? Let's see, does the webcam want to show up? Just bear with me a moment here. Nope, the webcam does not want to work right now. Okay, so no webcam on the stream today. But how's everyone doing? Should be live on YouTube and Twitch now. Yeah, no extended maintenance, I know. That was nice to see. Where is the lockbox ship? Look, I expected there to be a new lockbox ship today, and I was wrong. I think the Credence launched with the summer event last year, so there was just an expectation, given it's been a month since the last lockbox ship, that it was quite likely there'd be one here today. Yeah. Oh, that's true, Pundis. Console did get the Echelon today. Okay, so the stream plan is that I'm going to play around with the Federation Intel Holo ship for about 2 hours, and then when Endeavor starts his stream up, I'm going to be raiding over to him on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, so let me pull up the patch notes in the news so far. Don't know how you'll survive without a new lockbox ship. Florine, how's it going? Yeah, I'm gonna get to the fleet power stuff here in just a moment. Yeah, so a lot of people are confused about the ship being in the water on Ryza. That is to match what we saw in Star Trek Insurrection. Okay, so the first thing here is that the summer sale has started. There's 25% off everything in the Zen store right now until July 7th at noon Pacific. And there's also a 20% Lobby sale running, or starting tomorrow, the 2nd, running until the 8th. Bridger? Well, Michael, the thing is, most people are going for the ship free to play, so it's going to take about 2 weeks for most people to get the ship. So that's why typically you see a new ship in alongside the start of the event. Bridger, how's it going? And on PC, there's also 20% bonus Zen live right now until the 14th. And if you're able to buy Zen through Epic, it is a 20% discount running until the 14th as well. So remember, if you have the ability to buy Zen through Epic, that the 10% Epic rewards is still going on. And, if you're buying Zen through Epic, if you have the ability to, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could use code CasualSAB at checkout. But yeah, let's head over to the patch notes. So there's all the new stuff for the summer event, which I covered in yesterday's video. They fixed an issue on PC with the Devil's Heart optional objectives for the Elite difficulty. Fixed an issue with the Romulan EV suit when equipped on female Romulan characters. And then most importantly, they went in and undid the changes that Fleet Power Network received with a patch 2 weeks ago. Scuba, thank you for the Prime sub. Greatly appreciated. I was told to only ever use code NickNB. Terrible. No, well, if you're over on console, the Echelon was added in today. But I think a lot of us were expecting a new lockbox ship on PC today, and that did not happen. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this more in a video later today. But yes, Fleet Power has been fixed. They listened to the feedback and have undone the changes to it. Urs, you're fine. I'm going to be raiding out to Endeavor stream in about 2 hours when that starts. The Holo ship is getting 3 universal slots as if it's full Merrick worker. But yeah, there's a Zen sale right now on PC as well. And again, Epic, create a code CasualSAB if you buy over there. But let's head in game, and I am going to be buying out the summer event to get the ship here day 1, of course, but I am going to do 1 day of the summer event just to reduce the cost of it. So I'm going to transwarp over there. Slyness, how's it going? Yeah, definitely the best thing for them fixing fleet power. Yeah. I'm really happy to see that change. Like, if they were going to nerf fleet power, the way that they did it wasn't the way. The way that they did it just didn't make any sense at all. Yeah, the progress is 20, but it's a lobby buyout. Didn't see that one over there. Z, thank you for the Prime sub. Greatly appreciated. You get into Rise instantly. I've been in loading screen for 10 minutes. That's rough. Well, the thing is, like, if they were going to nerf fleet power, the way to do it would have been to have, impacted the amount of haste it provides or prevented it from scaling beyond 125%. But the way that they went about it just didn't make much sense. All right, I'll catch up on chat here in just a moment. Bridger with the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you so much.
That'll give the dancers a show.
I appreciate it, Bridger. So a lot of people are really confused about that, but that's literally how the ship was shown in Star Trek Insurrection. In Star Trek Insurrection, the Holo ship was put on the planet to take the Baku, like, secretly off the planet. So it was just sitting in a lake, and
that volcano's not active anymore.
Like, it was like this, but cloaked in the movie. So, like, how you see it in the map here is just like how it was in Insurrection. Dark, how's it going?
I hope you had a
Get out there and fly.
Okay, so I can now go in and buy out this event at a reduced cost, 950 Lobby crystals. Yeah, it's lore accurate, exactly. Now, as soon as you do the buyout, you can do the daily again to get some dilithium. And to answer the question, can you fly over to it? The answer is no. I think this character's on a timer. I want to get my daily done here again quick, just to get some dilithium going in. Casual lore streamer. I really don't follow the lore as much as others. It's just I've seen the movie and remember that. Yeah, we'll have to see if console gets that Xerox. Does this character have a thing for the Rise map? Yeah, it's a nice callback to the movie, exactly. Should have cloaked it and let us fly and surf into it. That would have been cool. Again, I'm just going to get my daily done here quick, and then I'm going to move over to testing the ship. So I guess... I don't know why I was looking to just fly over there. I can just transwarp instantly. Yeah, it's not bad for a 4-4. Yeah, I believe it has just a basic cloak on it.
Get out there and fly. Get out there and fly.
That's fine. Yeah, used to replicate the interior of the Sona flagship as well. Yep. Yeah, 4-4 really isn't that bad. 4-4 is still perfectly usable. You know, the big thing with ships is, does the bridge officer layout, you know, make sense? Like, does the specialization combo, like, offer you, like, a good way to build it out? And, like, this ship isn't perfect, but it's perfectly decent enough to put together a solid build. Is lifetime worth it? The lifetime's only ever worth it during a sale. And, you know, that's really a question of how long do you plan to play the game and how much do you want the quality of life perks that has to offer. Or 4 wouldn't be bad at all if they would unrestrict omnis. No, there's no lag.
That secluded beach is
Actually,
a
I should have my
favorite
neck
spot
wrap
for
on.
hikers who want to get away from the populated areas.
It's not been that bad so far for me, but yeah, I would only buy the lifetime on PC. And only if you're like super invested into the game, like you want to play the game for a really long time.
Don't scare the birds in the Great Tower too much.
Yeah, I know. Or if someone buys it for you, yes. Where you guys going?
I hope you had a...
Get out there and fly. Time's...
Okay. Yeah, the lifetime on PC, if you get it during a 50% sale, like it will pay itself off in 2.5 years. I have got a lot of messages.
Awarding bonus favors to anyone who comes help me locate temporal artifacts.
I get off this map and back to New ROM so I can swap ships. Okay, let's head to New ROM. Since it can't do, well, it can't do dual cannons, but that doesn't mean it can't do cannons at all. So, as a bit of a meme recently, I took my mirror angle and I did turrets on it just for the meme, and it did just under 2.4 mil solo. I really hope you're not going to put cannons on a ship again. Well, it's the same as beams. Like, I can do beams or cannons on a ship, and they're going to basically... They're going to play very similar. It's just the visuals are different, and the beams do less damage. That's really the difference, is if you want beams, you're doing less damage. Mineral quicksands looks like you spawned the Great Link. It to me, if a ship doesn't have a command seat on it, it does not make sense at all to put torps on it. That's just me and the experiences that I have. Yeah. Have to do... Well, the thing is, Chiaps, people do not want to hear that like a single cannon setup is going to beat their fire at will beam setup. People don't want to hear that. But yeah, I mean, I can do beams on it. It's just, you know, the thing to keep in mind is whenever you go beams, you're voluntarily doing less damage. And that's fine. Most people are fine with that. Okay, I'm going to rename this the Holo ship so I can find it in the list easier. Gear drawers for singles, yeah. So the Holo ship here, it does come with a universal console slot by default. So let me get that upgraded. So you guys want beams, so let's do beams. Okay, so I'll do the Terran phaser. I'll do the 2 narrow phasers up front. Then I'll do just a normal, or actually I need a torp on here. You know, I'm just gonna grab the wide angle quantum, just because I like that torpedo. And I'm just going to slot normal deflector engine core shields. So the Fleet Colony deflector, competitive rep engines, the innervated variant, the Tholian warp core, and then the Kittimer shield. Is Dark Matter Lorca not meta anymore? They're still fine. They're still fine. Yeah, I don't know why it has that universal console slot by default. That is a bit different. I'll stick the Palvin Omni on. And I guess we're doing a broadside setup here, so I'm not even going to worry too much about a second Omni right now. Let's just put these beams on. Why the Kittimer shield over Tilly? The Kittimer shield does a good bit of damage when you're taking damage. I just generally don't run a torpedo much anymore. If you want to do Dark Matter, that's perfectly fine with that 2-piece. When I'm doing a broadside setup, I find it easier for me to just have a 180-degree torp on. That's just personal preference, so, you know, you may prefer something else. And now for the consoles here, what I'm going to do is just basically take the ones off of my mirror angle and just move them over to the ship. And I am missing one here, so just give me a moment. There it is. Did I grab the Tholian one on accident? Oh, yeah, my bad. Similar colors, yeah, I wanted the Kittimer shield. Good catch. I briefly talked about it, Vindictive, but I'm going to cover it more in a separate standalone news video that'll be dropping later today. Can I check what hull materials it has? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So let's head on over and get that done here quick. Let me remember to mute my phone. That would help. Okay. So it does have quite a few material options here. The only thing you can change over in advanced is just the pattern on it. There is no special interior. Windows-wise, just one option. Is the Holo ship worth buying out? Only if you don't want to do the summer event. Like, there's nothing on here that you need to have like day one. Is the new solo build video close to completion? I haven't really started on it yet, Dark, just because I was waiting to see what was going on with Fleet Power. What does it look like with the Borg 3-piece? I'll look at that in a moment. Any new bugs? I am not aware yet. But yeah, there's quite a few materials here. Shadow, I believe so. Yeah, let's get the Borg set on here, because I know a lot of you want to know if this looks like a Borg probe with that, so let's get the assimilated set on. It's not quite a full-on Borg probe, but there you go. I think that's about as close as you're going to get. You can't see the assimilated pieces sticking out. Like, the engine is embedded into the ship and the deflector. Well, I don't know where that is. You should be able to fly it normally most of the time. Doesn't show up in the ship customizer. If I go to space, will it show up? There it is. Okay, so yeah, good call. Yeah, the deflector and engine do show up outside of the ship tailor window. Yeah, that looks much better Borg wise. Yes, thank you, Mac. Zorg, the isomags and the TAC consoles are still fine. The current meta, just like at the higher performance levels, has shifted over to unconventional systems and the Vovin console. Basically, the meta is right now is you just have everything filled with universal consoles, and you reduce the cooldown of them quite a bit with unconventional systems and the Vovin console, so you can spam them all the time. It's a Timu Borg probe. Oh no. The Borg 3 pieces from the Omega Reputation. It's one of the oldest Reputation sets in the game. Yeah. Let me get the bridge officers for this thing sorted out, and... Okay, you guys wanted me to do beams for this. I mean, ideally, you'd probably just slap, like, single cannons on it, even though it can't run dual cannons, it can still do single cannons perfectly fine. Let's see here. Let's keep OSS 3 on. Can do Ionic here. Single target for the win. You want me? I mean, I can do that. If you really want me to do surgical strikes, I can. Ultimately, that is probably how most people are going to end up using this ship, so it does make sense to do that. We want it. Terrible Michi. Does the ship mimic other ships? Where is it? Yeah, it'll the Holo Matrix will make it appear as a different ship. So I missed this in the video yesterday, but it is completely random as to what ship you're going to be able to appear as. You don't actually get to pick. Well, you get to pick a mode, but when you pick the mode, it will just pick a random ship from what you have access to. Greg? Terrible. Did something... Hold on here. I'm getting sidetracked. But I've gotten 2 different people that have messaged me to check out a ship here. Let me find a random character. Let me see if this is actually accurate. Yeah, it does not have the cruiser auras. I've gotten 2 different messages here saying to check the Atlas. I don't know what for, but let's take a look. I'll just have to grab that from Muds quick. I went right past it. Oh, geez, it was all the way at the top. Yeah, I've been told to take a look at this. Let's see. Where did that just go on my list? As I hit the wrong buttons here, left and right. You know, something does look a little bit different about that. It's been a while since I looked at this, though. It got Type 0A remaster. Okay. I wonder what that would imply if that's the case. That is one big ugly ship. Yeah. The Atlas was always Endeavor revamp came out in console today. Yeah, the Atlas was always a chonky ship. Yeah, exactly. So the Type 0A is new with the patch today? Huh. Yeah, I feel like the last time I looked at this ship, I don't recall the like this bottom bit looking quite like that. This isn't a ship that I ever really flew around. It was a ship that you got to get the DPRM and then you toss the ship away basically. So if this is getting a remaster, I wonder what that could imply. Yeah, that's an interesting catch. Need to I just need to verify that these were not existing options. But yeah, that just to me looks different than how I remember it. Am I live data mining? Oh yeah, it's that comment was funny. Um, the one accusing me of data mining. It's like it was literally in the events window. That's totally new. Check Sto Wiki. Oh, that's a good point. Let's go back to that. STO Wiki. Yeah, I feel like it looks new. I forgot that this would all be on the Sto Wiki. Apophis, how's it going? Geops. Okay. So Atlas. I'm not seeing all the customization options listed here for it, but there's a thread about it on Blue Sky? Okay. Well, there it is. That's official. The Atlas model has been rebuilt to Star Trek Online's current standards of quality, now using the Type 0A material. I can use standard set of Federation materials and windows. Oh, am I not? Oh, no, I am showing my screen. Okay. There we go. The Atlas has been remastered. And with that being a lockbox ship, from how many years ago, that's already in MUDs, there has to be some sort of reason for this change to have been done. So, maybe there's a ship similar to this in the upcoming C-Store bundle. Who knows? Can we remaster the servers? Oh no. Yeah. Now getting back to the ship, let me The kit modules are really strong this year. Does that include the one that the blog said had a, we just update things with no rhyme or reason for sure? Yeah, I bet. Scorpion, how's it going? One S tier to a... Nice. Good to hear that the new kit modules are doing well. There was one of them where I liked the text on it just saying it's gonna like knock you up. That was a great translation. Where is it in here? I think I've already went past it. Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but the text on the blog was interesting. SCP, I'd say to reach out to support in that case. Oh, was it right at the top? Did I just completely blank out and go past it? Yeah, it's that type of day for me, okay? 25% sale on non-ships. Yeah, 25% is basically as good as it gets for most categories. Muds, of course, wait for a proper 75% sale there for the non-bundle items, 50% for the bundles. For bundles in general, wait for a 35% sale. Okay, now I'm going to get back to building this ship out. We're going to do surgical strikes here per viewer request. I'll leave a torp spread on, and let me just get this fully loaded out. We'll get a grab wheel on here. And for the... Actually, I'm going to swap this around, I think. The Intel Holo ship doesn't stack kills at the moment. That is terrible. That means like the main feature of the ship isn't working, is what you're saying? I'll test that here to verify in just a moment. That is fine. The ship does have a normal cloak on it. Rubica, John, how's it going? I haven't tested the kit modules at all, so I can't really comment on their performance. And ground in general is not something I really mess around with too much, so I will leave that sort of coverage to other creators. Now just bear with me as I get my tray sorted out here. Try to get all the abilities on the tray. The knock you up module works great. Yeah, I know. That's just always how it's been with new releases and stuff, is broken at launch and then they get sorted out not long afterwards. I don't know why I have automated heavy Tetrion emitters on. Let's get that off there. I dropped a console. I think it's Crenum Chronophage that I dropped. Some get sorted out, that's true. Some do get sorted out fairly quickly, and some don't. I feel like I'm at that point again where I just have too many abilities on my tray.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Need to run an easy 9th rule to get 150 kills real fast? Yeah, that's a good point. With surgical strikes, that's not going to be the easiest. Again, I'm doing surgical strikes because that is what the viewers want. Do I have any thoughts on the official Discord? It looks like it's doing fine so far. I can't say that I've, necessarily followed a ton of conversations in there. I generally have a lot on my plate already, so keeping track of another Discord is not the most feasible thing for me to do. To get some AoE, but people want surgical strikes. I said the best way to build this out would be with like single cannons with CSV, but that's not what people want. Tossing cannon scatter volley on builds is just a very elitist way to play. People get tired of seeing that. So I'm going to provide people with the content that they want to see. Many of you are paying to see me suffer here, so I got to provide that content. I think I have basically everything on the tray. There's something I'm gonna realize I'm missing just as I get into the fight, but let's save this and get in there. Surgical strikes isn't bad, it's just that single target is not generally as good in this game. Single target is generally a bit on the weaker side. So much of the content is really built around the idea of you going against multiple foes at the same time. So having a build that is AoE focused is really beneficial. Oh, it would help if I changed my traits. Yes, let's see, Vanguard Specialist instead of that, and let's... I also don't need Corrosive. Just thinking of what I want to slot here. Yeah, I miss the days of Fire at Will being great. I don't know what I want to run here, I guess. Scroll back up. I'll just do Sure Shot and call it the day. Yeah. And yeah, this ship does not have cruiser commands. Instead, it has the holographic configurations, which I need to toggle back on. I guess let's just do the TAC one for now, though. I think the science one probably will be best for the console cooldown reduction.
Their boss might come out of hiding. concentrating fire on individual ships. Separate them and whittle down their numbers. We will not go quietly. You will stand down and surrender to the Benson Guard. Sensors are picking up small habitations in some of the asteroids, possibly consistent with bolt holes and temporary hideouts.
I'm seeing the kills stack up.
Picked up a tight beam transmission on a new frequency. We're jamming that spectrum of their comms now, but it was probably a call for assistance. I'm taking you with me. That's Captain. Excellent work. We'll send over a pacification party. Take the
This would have already been done with a full Omni loadout. I mean, if I had a full Omni setup, it'd be game breaking.
Thank you for your assistance, and welcome to this sector.
So
Recommend that you get under.
it doesn't give you an icon for the stacking. It's on the actual tooltip of the buff. So I can see here foes defeated 21 out of 200. I mean, you versus me, if I had a full Omni loadout, if we're being real, I would have taken out that instance and all the other Argala instances in that time frame. I mean, the only reason to use Lobby to buy out the event is if you don't want to play the event. Or you're unable to play the entire duration of the event. You know, if you have the ability to play it for free, I don't think this ship is worth 1,000 Lobby. And the foes defeated does carry over to other maps, so it is based on the amount of kills in the past 20 hours. Vic, I'm using the Nutty multi-chat. It's by a content creator called Nutty. How about the trait? I mean, the Starship trait just doesn't matter for any established player. The Starship trait is Ouroboros. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, Ouroboros driver. This is 10% cooldown reduction for attacker intel abilities when you use Angel Merc Worker bridge officer abilities and vice versa. It just doesn't. It doesn't really matter for any of us that are, you know, a bit more established. Naz, it's not a buff. Like, it's not an icon that can be sub-nuked off. It's changing the built-in, like, the tooltip of it. Axel, how's it going? Disables knock the Holo mode offline. That's interesting. Okay, check the inertia. So it is just 20%. It's not plus 20, it is actually just 20%. When was the last time an event ship came with a trait that was worth something? The Hesperian. That I know that had a really good trait and console on it. Why does it have the extra console slot? I don't know. It's got the console slot like it would if it was a Miracle Worker ship, even though it's only Lieutenant Commander Miracle Worker. Yeah, Vovin. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, Vovin's Starship trait was actually good for survivability. But yeah, let's take this through some more content. We have a lot of people here. Let's do a Crystalline Catastrophe. Public queue of Crystalline Catastrophe Advanced. Like, it's an interesting little ship, and especially, like, if you want to make it look like a Borg probe, you know, getting that assimilated three-piece on it from the Omega reputation, you know, that's a good way to go. This is what it looks like by default. If you want to leave it in the default mode and then have the Borg three-piece on, you know, you can give it somewhat of a Borg look if that's what you're looking for. Terrible. Little? I know. It isn't Borg enough right now. I mean, that's on. It barely did anything, though. Yeah, console just got the summer event as well. Chris, can I give a rundown on the summer event? You've never done one before? Yeah, I can do that after this queue. But yeah, basically the easiest way to do it is to get a jetpack and do the little jetpack part of the event each day. Flying Eye, I believe is the name. Yeah, the holographic effect is completely random. You might get the same ship, you might get a different one. You don't actually get to pick. So it put me into the McKee Raider multiple times there. Little bit of lag right there. I guess I can't swap to a different ship until I get more kills. Yeah, so the mode is it's there instead of cruiser commands. This is an alternative. Was I top DPS? Not even close. It's surgical strikes. If you're doing surgical strikes, you're not going for top DPS. David, how's it going? But yeah, on a TAC captain, I can choose TAC, Inj, or Psi. Like, it doesn't matter what your captain class is. You can choose any of them. Yeah. So I'm still at 21 kills. I did not get a single kill in that because single target and beams. That's a combo for, just saying I don't want to do much damage. Let's put something a bit more high performance on here and see if I can get a bit more out of this. Dan, thank you for the resub. Greatly appreciated. And let me see. Z, if I didn't say it, thank you for the Prime sub 50 minutes ago. My notifications aren't popping up as much lately, so some of them I'm a bit slow to respond to. Dan, thank you for the bits. Yeah, let me find more turrets here. And I thought I had single cannons. It might be in my bank. Okay. Pax, how's it going? Time to live that turret life. Or single cannons. There's nothing wrong with single cannons. I would, if Fire at Will wasn't in the position it currently is, I would be much more willing to just run like a beam Fire at Will setup. But right now, with how Fire at Will is right at this very moment, just not super interested. Okay, so I did the beam loadout first, and now I'm going to go to an actual like damage focus loadout. What are my thoughts on Withering Disruptor from the Terran rep? Aside from the set Terran Omni, or Terran Omni, the set Terran Beam, if you want to spend lithium on disruptors, then just go into the Dill store, and if you own a Cardassian ship, you'll be able to pick up Spiral Wave disruptors right through the dilithium store. Fark, thank you for the resub. Yeah, I mean, people don't like it when you say things that counter their beliefs, and when you tell people that beams are in a really bad state, they don't want to hear it. But yeah, let's hop into another TFO, and now that I've got these elitist cannon weapons on, let's do an infected. Infected elite public queue. Let's see how it goes. Ugly. Oh no. Now there's places where beams can do really good. Most tank builds are still using them. There's even been some like single target focused beam overloaded or surgical builds that have been used for like side DPS roles quite effectively. The problem is that doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, power creep is so far up right now that basically anything can get you through, even the hardest elite content. We're at a point where we have a difficulty problem. And that's an issue I just don't think they'll ever really address. I don't think they really can do much about that.
Scanning the nanite transporter. Done. Additional data is available.
PSV misfire.
Scanning the nanite transporter. Done. Additional data is available. The nanite probe will repair the transporter. Stop that.
Rip. There we go. Did I ever get Nick to come back and do coordinated torp runs? No.
Warp conduit has been destroyed.
Um,
However, our scans of
Levi, on a sad pet build, would I use 2 Toadoosh squadrons or throw some Type 7s into the mix? I mean, if you're investing into buffing the pets up, then the Toadoosh. If you're just running a normal weapons-based build, and the pets are secondary, then the Type 7s. What about a happy pet build? Terrible. That would never happen with beams. Oh no, that is a really elitist comment right there. I guess now it's time to just go do some patrols and get up to the 200 stack limit here, just to get this perk fully unlocked with this ship. So to do that, I'm going to swap over to the Disco 3-piece, and I'm going to go do some lower difficulty content, where I will be able to basically just insta-kill the enemies as they spawn in. Yeah, 9th roll. Just do 8 to health, honor, private, normal. Bit of wait time with that, but I mean, there's with the others as well. They know that Type 7s stack together. Believe me, there was a lot of questions asked to Cryptic when the Type 7s and Fleet Power first came out. Because we were like you know, we were very aware that those items represented a massive amount of power creep, and we wanted to know if that's what they were intending. Like everything about fleet power and Type 7s, every point, every concern was raised when they first came out, and they said it was fine. Yeah, Z, the thing is too with power creep is every time they've tried to counter like the upper end of the spectrum, like it takes little to no time for there to be a new route found, that the issue then ends up being that route is accessible to veteran players that have the resources, you know, to put together basically any sort of build. But the nerfs have historically just really screwed over the lower part of the player base that is still at that lower performance level. Steve-O, how's it going? Scott, how's it going?
Go to Shipyard Alpha. Destroy the Mokai vessels before they can power up.
The Holo ship's fine. And 168 foes defeated now. I am still playing on the PS5. I just have not had much time in the past week or so. I'll be doing the summer event over there. PSV misfired. PSV misfired again. Yeah, it's ultimates. So, there's a Mogai visual.
You have done well. It will work this time. It must work.
It can't dual cannons, but it can still do single cannons or turrets. I'm just going through the random ship options here. Sounds like he's screaming through an 80s jukebox. Terrible. I know some people dislike me complaining about certain things not performing as well. But the reason I complain about things not performing well is because I want them to be better. I want, the things we buy in the game, especially when, some of these things cost $100+ to obtain for a single character. I want them to be good. And, beams are a good example of something I want to be better right now, because a lot of people want to run beams, and with how Fire at Will just is right now, it's rough. Okay, I'm gonna leave the map and then rejoin, and I'm gonna build up kills on the science mode. So the point of me doing the solo to health honor normals here is I just am doing that to build up kills. Just to quickly get up to the 200 kill cap that the mode has. Yeah, so right now, just playing around with the Holo ship, and there's these modes on it, the holographic configurations, and as you get kills with each of those modes, you get more buffs from them, but you also get different visuals that you unlock for the Holo Matrix. So I just built up the attack one, and now I'm going to build up the science one. I'm not going to bother with the engineering one, because the buffs on the engineering one sort of suck. I did a Kittimer a day or so back with no issue.
Go to Shipyard Alpha. Destroy.
So the thing is too with this console, or not the console, the built-in thing on this ship, this persists for 20 hours. So this will work through your TFOs. Like, it is going to persist through the different maps. Dan, thank you for the British pound. Terrible chaps. I just have single cannons on it right now. If Terrible Chiaps became a drinking game, we'd all be blackout drunk by now. Or you'd be blackout drunk? Yeah. Yeah, Mavrock, potentially. Ruin house gone.
What game is Jaula playing now? The rift has been sealed.
Rage.
You have done well. Success. Let our enemies tremble. Only a titanium like you will use the luck to fight that god, Jaula. Not so bad. Let call to the bomb battle. Maximum one. We need to close this rift before we
Yeah, or no. So
the rift failed to
the foes defeated is independent, the separate for each of the modes. So if you want to get your Psi and TAC modes, you know, up to 200, you'd have to do 200 kills for each of them prior to whatever you're wanting to do. You play STO vicariously through Spencer. You haven't logged in for months now. Oof. Doing runs used to be fun. Yeah, that was a fun time. So now I can see some of the other visuals here. This is under the science mode. So there's an Oberth. The Holo Matrix mode will stay on the ship that it puts you in until you turn it off. So, you know, once you have one that you like, you can just stick with it. But if you don't like it, then you just got to turn it off and turn it back on. Oh, there's a nebula. Yeah, and the Borg effects are from me having the assimilated 3-piece on from the Omega Reputation. Vosper, there was a remaster done to the Atlas today, so yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a news video later in the day. Potentially early morning. It just depends on how tired I feel after this, because I have not yet slept. Been busy couple days for me. Do I know if any CCs will talk about the new kit modules? Your best bet for seeing conversation about the kit modules is going to be in places like the Builds Discord. There's a ground section in there where pretty much the best ground players are going to be chatting about these new items. Random Prime sub, your new player. Would this be a good ship for someone starting out like you? Yeah, absolutely. Dan, thank you for the 70 bits. Much appreciated. What's the highest lobby price you'd set this ship at, worth-wise? There's already a lengthy discussion in builds, yeah. Like, are you asking how much I would pay for it? Like, if I wasn't a CC looking to make content out of this ship, I would just get it for free by playing the event. You just soloed Hive Elite with rapid lithic formation. Very nice. That sounds very elitist, Mara. Oh, I forgot. Every time I say your name, I'm supposed to say it slightly different just to annoy you. I'm sorry, Mira. For some reason, I think the scimitar was in the science pool. There it is. Feels weird for that to be in the science pool of ships. Now what happens when I swap over to TAC mode? I go back to the ships that I have available for how many kills I have in the TAC mode. Yeah, just some weird choices there. Okay. And the question, of what happens when you swap modes? Your kills, the foes defeated are still tracked when you swap modes, so you can swap back and forth between the modes as you desire. Scimitar not being treated as the flying war crime, is always weirded you out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're a veteran player, like it's a neat ship. Do not get me wrong. It is really a neat ship. The starship trait, I just don't really care for it at all. And the console this thing has, which I apparently took off already. I thought I left it on. Yeah, so the console is Holo Matrix Distortion. Passives on this are plus 20% inertia rating, and that's actually 20%. It's not plus 20. So if you're at 20 inertia, that's going to take you to 24. Plus 20 defense rating. I mean, the passives are there for those interested. It's really about the inertia buff. For the clicky, the debuff on it, minus 25% all damage resistance for 15 seconds to up to 10 foes within 10-kilometer radius. That's pretty good. The damage resistance and the temporary hit points, however, not really that big of a deal. Like, if this was I mean, with this ship, it's not bad. It just, if you're a veteran player that already has a bunch of things, this isn't going to do much for you. Will I ever use this gimmick again after today? Probably when doing a video on the ship itself, but like for my day-to-day gameplay, probably not. The concept is good, its execution is underwhelming. Yeah, the buffs are fairly small. Okay, let's do some more content. Okay. Let's just queue up for the Borg stuff. Cure, Hive, and Kittimer Elite, whatever pops first. The summer event last year had the Voven, which it was like really, really crazy good. But the stuff we got this year, like, it's not bad. Just nothing crazy. The first universal console is the particle conversion matrix off of the Guardian. The third is the sequential warhead loader off of the Shangri-La. Yeah, the universal seating on this is great. It really allows you to build the ship out really however you want. Jeff? Doing good? Just a messed up sleep schedule. I think the way that I feel, I'm, when I wrap this stream up here in about 30 minutes, I'm probably just going to crash. So if any of you are, I imagine quite a few of you will stick around to watch Endeavor's stream, because Endeavor's going to have the devs on to talk about the summer event ship. If there's any other comments made there that are, that you guys think would be worth being mentioned in a news video, if you can put them in the Discord, I'd greatly appreciate it. Because I definitely feel like I'm going to crash for a few hours after this stream, and then I'll get a news video out this evening. None of these queues have popped so far. I'm going to unqueue for them and then requeue. So I'm queuing for Kier Found Elite, Hive Onslaught Elite, and Kittimer Vortex Elite, whichever pops first. Kittimer popped. Okay, here we go. The Vovin was really about the console. Microvax ask about 5-3 Sovereign and Omni restriction. I think of those... focus on the 5-3 Sovereign. And Fall, of course. The Omni... The Omni stuff, I think, is just quite clearly not going to happen. The heat is draining, yeah.
You will lower your shields and prepare to be boarded.
Get to the chopper, it could. Yeah. Indeed, Dan. I mean, they asked for feedback, David. Bordicus asked for stuff with the stream I did with them a couple months ago. It's just a matter now of waiting to see what the response to all that is about how to make ships better and all that. Now to wait for Denatra. Go. Dill backlog was 49 days for you today. That's rough. One genuine question about the science mode. Does the cooldown reduction happen as recharge speed or a flat 10%? That's a good question. So let me see here what my console says. It's an immediate bit of cooldown reduction right to the console. So it took that from, 2 minutes to 1 minute 49.1 seconds. Yeah, the heat some days has been a bit rough. Welcome back, Wildwood. So microvacs, that is the answer there. But just looking back at that comment there. Not even on the right chat option there. Slightly irks me. They're now all of a sudden begging for player communication after placing such communication so harshly before. Sure, some toxicity, but most people do talk. You just, yeah. There's definitely some toxicity from some in the community, but overall, I mean, I would say, there's always going to be some bad people, some bad actors in every large community. But I haven't seen any major incidents so far from the new Discord. But I do know that a bunch of the people that are banned on like the builds Discord, the wiki Discord are all over there. So it's just a matter of time until some of them probably get removed from the official Discord as well. Yeah, you shouldn't attack the developers though. It's not even, going to be in their control. Making ships better is pretty easy. Well, that video I did, that video, I think that and the associated Reddit post ended up covering most of the points. I never got my second part done that I wanted to. But I mean, Mara did a really good write-up on the Reddit thread that pretty much covered most of what I would say when it comes to the bridge officer abilities anyways. $40C in Europe? Oof. I don't know what the temperature is in here right now. Your wrist hurt after that? Yeah, so in my room right now it's 29C, which is like 84 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit warmer outside, but unfortunately the AC just doesn't work too well back in this room. Terrible, David. Yeah. We got time for a few more TFOs, and in 20-ish minutes, I'll be sending people over to Endeavor, who's going to have the developers on to, again, talk about the ship. Will I be able to see you? I mean, I'm not that far from I-80. PC is the best space heater. You're not wrong. Don't know if you're going to last another 20 minutes. I was hoping that I would be awake enough after this stream to be able to go and work on my news video right away. But I was up all night and I pushed through to get the stream done today, so I'm just gonna crash after this, take a little nap, and then in the evening, early morning, I'll have the news video out going over everything. One of your atlases is only showing the hole at the ship selector on PlayStation. Well, there was a remaster pushed in with the patch today. It's not even a universal console, Steven. Like the baked-in mechanic this has, the holographic configuration, that's just built into the ship to replace cruiser commands. Attacking the STO staff has never been a good thing. It still bothers me how so many people treated Mike Fadum so poorly back when he was CM. Yeah, definitely. Some of the attacks out there, well, all the attacks that are personal like that are just really not good. No, I've pretty much told Nicholas I'm done with Star Citizen for the time being. I was extremely bored with the stream that I did for that or last Friday. I was gonna say over the weekend, but that was Friday. Yeah, the configuration modes are just basically the cruiser commands for this ship. Yeah, Star Citizen was that was not a good experience for me. The issue for Nick is he's pretty much done with STO at this point, and he really likes the friend group that he has in STO, and he wants them to, well, he wants us to move over to the other games he's interested in, and you know, I'm not into World of Warcraft, I'm not into Star Citizen. Like I'm fine with a space sim like Star Citizen. It's just that Star Citizen itself isn't it. At least right now for me. Like it takes, yeah, special kind of patience to play it, yeah. I gave up on O Game almost a year ago. Yeah, I basically just I had something happen in O Game that made me basically just quit it. go. Drakron, yeah, it's O-Game is a very pay to win game. It wasn't always like that, but it yeah, I my experience with O-Game was bad enough. I don't think I would touch another GameForge product. Let me catch up on chat here. Get to the choppa, see you around. Yeah, let me bring the chat back over. No, Ken, there's tons of people that like to fly around in really big ships and quite a few that also like to fly the really small ships. It's all personal preference, and that's the great thing with STO is you have so many different ways to approach the game. Dustin, it was in the control settings. What concerns you is the growing number of passionate players who are done or almost done with STO. A lot of that is the server issues. I typed in the Discord recently that, you know, I imagine for the devs it probably looks like, you know, it's just a bunch of, you know, like a bunch of veteran players just complaining constantly about the state of the game. It just, you know, with things like server performance, the fleet power, you know, change or nerf that's now been undone with the patch today. It just feels like there's just so much of a disconnect. I mean, it's always felt like there's a disconnect between the devs and like what the end game experience in this game is like, and that just has never really been going in a direction where it feels like it's getting better. So you've got a lot of veteran players who have been just seeing like the server performance issues, for instance, just continue to get worse, and just the motivation because of things like that is just really demotivate. It just really demotivates people. I'm repeating myself because I'm very tired and I'm not following a script. I apologize for that. But yeah, there was a question about controller. I don't imagine so, Leroy. Starship Simulator, I have not. Let me take a look. You know, I feel like I've seen this pop up on Reddit at some point. I hadn't really looked into it, but that's, yeah, those are some neat interiors. It looks interesting. It's got a demo to download. I'll have to take a look into that. The big thing to me too is this single player, single player online co-op good. I think another issue for me mentally is like I'm just done with live service titles. I mean, I'm still gonna, you know, stick around in STO, of course, but I really don't like the direction the gaming industry has went in the past several years, and all the live service focus. I just tired of it. I'm sticking around in STO, you know, pretty much as my last remaining live service title. Was just, I guess I just aged out of them. Jordo, you bought the summer ship out with Lobby, but you can't find it. Is it not in the events, like the reclaim rewards tab for you? I see it. It's the second on the list for me. Yeah, I've heard about Stop Killing Games, yeah. Thank you for reminding me too. I wanted to mention that in my next news video, because I know they've got the EU petition that's gonna be ending at the end of the month. If that can get up to 1 million signatures, that, you know, it's not guaranteed to do anything, but that's the best hope that has. Theron, you personally don't have a lot of issues with Stowe that you can think of, but I do know I haven't spent as much time in the game as I've done in the past. Yeah. I think part of the issue is people just want more content to play. I think a lot of the existing content, like battle zones, I think everyone knows at this point that, you know, some of those need a bit of a touch up. I think there's a lot of older content in the game. You know, I was visiting fleet maps recently, and it was just a bit sad to see that they haven't really been touched since Lighting 2.0, which, you know, how many years ago did Lighting 2.0 happen? Like the lighting on the Starbase map was rough. The lighting on the fleet, the 20-player, you know, fleet TFO maps, that's also pretty rough. Yeah. Yeah, the Endeavor updates, honestly, I think they need to do something to make Endeavors happen faster. An idea that I was going to bring up in a video that I just haven't had time to get around to yet was, you know, just put in some more Endeavor perk boost into each of the recruitment events, but also put some in the fleet holdings. You know, give people a way to buy a small bonus from the fleets as well. Romeo, how's it going? Yeah. Last. I don't want to get into the political side of things, but I don't see something like Stop Killing Games getting through on the US side right now. Or honestly, any time in like the near future. I don't think it matters what party the US has. I don't know if I have much confidence in either side in the US going for that. Yeah, you'd want it to go in the EU, because then that would basically force the change to happen over to but that would over time just, you know, push it into the US. Was just getting close to 700 on Endeavors after all this time, and now what's the point? Yeah. Okay, let's do another TFO here. Let's do a Hive. Yeah, what this change has done is made it so I'm just not going to choose any ground ones. I'm basically just gonna pick up the space editions they put in, and then any excess points I'm just gonna save for the future.
Resistance is futile. Your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel, and I will claim another.
That feedback pulse got me.
Only those who do not victory where none can be had.
I am eternal!
Yeah.
This is not the end.
There was an argument on the official Discord where one person called the Endeavor system a gambling reinforcement conditioning tool, and I can't disagree with that because of how it works, yeah. How the Borg Queen is calling herself a fool. Every system in STO involves gambling to some extent, pretty much.
Accept the gift of assimilation.
Indeed, Tom. Indeed. Well, I'm going to be raiding out to Endeavor here in just a few minutes. Endeavor, again, is going to be streaming with the developers to go over this ship. If you guys have any final questions you have for me, feel free to drop them in. Again, I've been flying the ship around with the assimilated 3-piece on today to give it like a Borg probe style visual. But here's what it looks like stock. Yeah, the gambling system is just whatever at this point. I mean, so many games have stuff like that. But what STO does poorly is a pity system. Yeah. I mean, there's still been a better rubber band, but I haven't really been doing anything super intensive, but the CSV misfires were quite annoying. But yeah, I mean, the big thing about this ship is the modes it has, which just replace cruiser commands. The foes defeated on those, the counter for that will remain for 20 hours. I mean, just getting 1 kill every 20 hours with each of the modes you have that on should be enough to retain that buff. And this science, the TAC one's going to be the most interesting for most people. Science would be second best due to the 10% recharge speed for universal consoles. And the engineering one, with the current values, is just a bit of a joke. Watch out for the Sona aboard. Yeah. Out of rage, I wish. Have I tried the new kit modules? I have not. Mara did, and Mara got some interesting results from them. Said they all perform pretty well. There's a bunch of discussion about them over in the builds Discord. Let me just take a look here. Yeah. There's a bunch of discussion, I believe, in the ground channel here. Yeah. Wow, that parse, that did a lot of damage for you. Do I happen to have like a Borg Vanda shield? Just the assimilated, unfortunately. Jeez. So there's another parse even further down. That's wild. Yeah, Mac will do the Vandy Shield coverage. Okay, is Endeavor live? Let me take a look here. Doesn't seem to be done quite yet. Just waiting for Endeavor so I can redirect everyone over to his stream. Yeah, and like I said, I'll do a news video later on. It might be, you know, early tomorrow morning, depending on how long I go and crash. But yeah, if there's any big highlights from Endeavor's stream, if anyone can post them in the CasualSAB Discord, I'd greatly appreciate it. Just waiting for Endeavor now. Yeah, Endeavor's going to have Jeremy, Thomas, and Pundis on to talk about the summer ship. Let's see. Oh, and in the next week or so, I'm going to be, I guess it'll be early next week, I'll be announcing some giveaways over on the CasualSAB Discord, so make sure to join that Discord if you're not already there. Got some stuff here from Johnny, and I'm going to be tossing in some stuff as well. Yeah, I just to make sure this doesn't break, I need to wait for him to be live before I send people over. If you guys have any additional questions about the ship that I missed here, you can leave them in the comments below. If you're watching this live, you can hop on over to Endeavor stream here, and you can ask the developers directly, about any questions you have about this. Thanks for all you do, Supreme Fleet Leader. Terrible. I'm glad to help. Do a dance party on Ryza until Endeavor comes on. Is it true that every day is a perfect day on Ryza? If I recall, they have a lot of climate control there, so yes. They make every day a perfect day. Offline rating, oh my. Shouldn't be too much longer. When did they change account recovery? I have no idea. Let's see. Any other comments here? Okay, so in the stream, Thomas has teased or announced on Twitter that during the stream with Endeavor, they're going to be teasing what's coming in the next Star Trek Online Starship bundle. So that is the what were the two ships I already covered? I don't remember. No sign quite yet. But on this stream, they're talking about that, and at the end they'll be teasing some stuff with the upcoming Starship bundle. Yeah, Ranger 2. And what was the other one we were thinking of? The wasn't it like the Proxima or Yamato? The double engineering hull? The Atlas is possible, but if they're doing a new version of that, I can't imagine that being C-Store. That was... Okay, looks like it is live, so let me send people over there. I go to the right window. Hi, Stan. Okay, sending people over on Twitch, and YouTube will follow shortly afterwards. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.